my name is Rachel Brewster. Welcome to my channel, and this is a story about dating, kind of, I think. Yeah. Also social awkwardness and stuff. I don't know what this story is about. Anyway, so I was on a sandbar recently, and I was just walking around because I like to people watch and whatever. And there were three guys who were looking for a fourth to play Beersby, you know, like the two PCP pipes shoved into the sandbar with a bottle on top, and then you throw the frisbee and try to knock the bottle off, etc. I don't know if Beersby is a Midwest name because I mentioned that to a coworker in New York and he called it something else, something super lame that I was like, hello, it's Beersby. Much better name. Anyway, so I was like, for sure, I'd love to play. So they were like, oh, you can play with Sean. And I was like, gee whiz. I wonder which one of you you're trying to hook me up with. But like, all good. That's fine. Sean's cute. It's good. So we played a couple of games of Beersby, and then they were going to go back to their cabin, eat something, and then head to the restaurant. And so before they headed to their cabin, they dropped me off at mine. And as they were dropping me off, they were like, do you want to come and get pizza with us? Because we can have pizza and play volleyball later if you want to. And I was like, sure, sounds fun. So Sean and I exchanged numbers, and that was kind of the plan for the evening. And like an hour later, Sean texted me, and he said, okay, so far so good, right? You're like, Rachel, this is a great dating story. You met somebody in real life. That doesn't happen anymore. You have to meet on Hinge and Tinder and Bumble and all of the things. Who gets to meet in person? This is great. Yeah, if you have been part of any of my dating stories, you know that's not my life. That's not where this is going. Like, spoiler alert, doesn't end well. Anyway, so like an hour, so far so good, right? Story is normal. None of my stories end normal. So about an hour later, Sean texts me and says, be honest with me. Do you want to come with us to the restaurant? What a weird way to ask that question. Like, why wouldn't you just say, hey, looking forward to grabbing pizza with you and playing volleyball. We're headed there now. Hope to see you. Game on. What do you mean be honest with me? So I knew immediately, because of my female spidey senses, that this is not like, do you want to come to the restaurant? That's not what he's actually asking. He's asking, are you into me? And I'm like, I don't know. I've known you for 10 minutes. I have no idea if I like you or not. And is that a prerequisite to me meeting up with you guys again? Because I kind of thought that was the point of me meeting up with you again, is for us to have another interaction and see if we like each other. Like, what? So I didn't know what to say. So I just said, yeah, pizza and volleyball sounds fun. Why do you ask? And he said, okay, cool. Just like in my job, I get lied to a lot. And so I wanted to make sure it was genuine. Also a weird response. I don't know what he does for work, still. But would it really be a lie? Would it have been a lie for me to say, yeah, I want to meet up with you guys for pizza and volleyball, and then change my mind? Or would it have been a lie, really a lie, for me to say, yeah, I'd love to meet up with you, and have it be like a Minnesota nice white lie, right? Like, oh my gosh, Betsy, I haven't seen you forever. We should totally grab lunch sometime. Yeah, Rachel, let's do that. Never speak to each other again, right? I'm like, why is he talking about lying? Like, this feels like baggage and like weird stuff, whatever. So he was like, okay, cool. Like, I get lied to a lot. So just wanted to make sure it was authentic and that you really wanted to come. Also, I'm like pretty direct as a person, and not everybody is. And I just wanted to like establish that or something. Okay. The irony, I can't help but point out the irony of this guy telling me that he's a direct person when 4 seconds earlier He said, be honest with me, do you want to meet for pizza? When we both know what he actually means is, be honest with me, do you like me? Right? I'm like, so much for being direct. Whatever. So then now I'm in the situation where I'm like, okay, what do I say to a text that's like, oh, I get lied to a lot, so I wanted to make sure. And also I'm really direct as a person. Like, I felt like really overwhelmed and claustrophobic. I was like, I've known, like, seriously, how long does it take to play 2 games of Beersby? Because I know I'm being dramatic about, like, I've only known him for 10 minutes, but like 2 games, half hour, maybe an hour. Like, I don't know this dude, and I feel like he's asking me if I'm into him, and I'm like, I don't know. Jesus. And so when he said, like, I'm pretty direct as a person, I got kind of feisty. I know, it's so rare for me. And I was like, okay, I like being direct. I can do that too. So I literally said, I can appreciate being direct, so I'll do the same. Insert, there's no emoji for that. There should be like a sound emoji. Here it comes. I said, I can appreciate being direct, so I'll be direct as well. If you're asking me if I want to get together for pizza and volleyball, the answer is yes. If you're asking me if I'm into you, the answer is I don't know. My plan is to come hang out with you guys, eat pizza, play volleyball, and then peace out once you go to the bar. Let me know if that's cool with you. Like, something like that. And he was like, oh yeah, cool, sounds perfect. And, you know, we're probably not going to go to the bar anyway, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay. Social cues. What I'm trying to say by I just want to do volleyball and pizza, and I don't care if you think that's PG. I'm not going to go to the bar with you. That's my attempt to say I'm not some bar bunny who's going to like get up on you tonight. Get down, get down, get down, get down tonight. No. Like I'm trying to establish boundaries and what we're trying to do here. And like you were just like, social cues. Not strong with this one. Whatever. Like, what are you gonna do? I was like, whatever, it's fine. So he said, cool, we're on our way there now. See you there soon. I said, okay. I showed up. I made sure to sit. It was him and his friends, right? So I made sure to sit across the table from him because I was like, I don't know if I'm into you, and you've already been a lot. You've already been a lot. So like, I don't want you to be able to touch me. I don't want us to be like rubbing shoulders. And also, sorry, rewind. While we were having that kind of intense texting conversation where I was feeling overwhelmed and claustrophobic, what I was thinking was like, okay, I need to decide if I like you before I meet up with you guys again. The answer is I don't know, but if you push me and make me answer, my answer is probably no. Simply because like when we were partners on Beersby, you know when you like somebody and you like want to like cuddle up next to them? Whenever he like reached out towards me, my body instinctively was just kind of like, I don't know, right? So when I met up with him in person, I was like, okay, I already know that like, either I don't like him physically, romantically, and it's some sort of like pheromone thing, right? Or maybe my body's just like not comfortable being around him yet, so I wanted to give some space. I don't know why I gave you all that context. It doesn't matter. I'm sitting across the table from him, and within 5 minutes of hanging out with him and his friends, I knew he and I were not going to be a thing. This was not, I was like, yeah, my body was right. Like, I don't know, he was really attractive. He was really nice, but that isn't everything. Like, there's some sort of like, je ne sais quoi, and like energy and chemistry that you either have with somebody or you don't, and it doesn't matter like how attractive they are. Like sometimes it's just not there, and it wasn't there for me. But his friends were awesome. Oh my God, no regrets, not even one letter. Totally enjoyed hanging out with his friends. They were a blast. One of the guys bought like $100 worth of pull tabs. Who does that? I would have stopped at 20, real talk. But then he ended up winning 200. So he was up 100, and he like paid for everybody's drinks and things. We played a couple of games of darts, which was fun. And then we went outside and played volleyball, which thank God there was a bachelor party there who joined us, because my little crew, me, me of the misfit with the boys, we were a total of like 5. We could not cover that volleyball court. It was ridiculous. But with the bachelors, and they were a blast. They were so fun and funny, like just good guys. And we were just having a lot of fun. So I had tons and tons and tons of fun. Oh my gosh, such a blast. But then there's like this subtext of like me and Sean during this whole thing. And he kept like reaching out and trying to flirt and like touch me. And I kept being like, no, right? And like shying away. And every time he sat down next to me, I would like get up, and like I was trying to like create distance, and I was trying to be subtle, right? Like, I don't want this to be awkward. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. I don't want to embarrass you, especially in front of your guy friends. Like let's just be chill about all this. The problem was he was 0% picking up on what I was laying down. And I, to this day, don't know if I was just like too subtle, or like if he really can't read social cues, because when you're a guy and you're in a situation like that, you're looking for a yes clue, right? But if you get enough no clues or even like neutral cues, you have to tally all of those up to go to a no. Like, she's not into it, right? He was not, no, he was no, just not, just kept on coming. She was, I don't know, maybe he thought I was playing hard to get, or maybe it was too subtle, I don't know. At one point at the volleyball net, he was like, high five, low five. And I was like, no chance in hell. I didn't even want to give him a high five. At that point, we were like 2 hours into this thing, and I effing knew, like, I don't even want to touch you at that level. And I know that if I come up to the volleyball net, you're going to like interlace our fingers or tickle me or flirt or something. And I'm like, no, like, it's not happening. And he was just not reading the tea leaves there, unfortunately. Anyway, so we wrapped up with the volleyball and we went back in, and I was chatting with Nick, one of his friends. Nick owns the cabin, or rather his parents do. He was also the one who paid for pizza. So I was like, hey, can I Venmo you some pizza? And he said that would be lovely. So we were standing next to each other and I was doing the Venmo thing. And Nick was like, hey, after this, we're going to go back to my cabin and play cards. Do you want to come? And I straight up said, no, that would be awkward. Which I thought was pretty odd. Like, I thought Nick was a much more socially conscious human being, so I assumed that he knew what that meant, which was, I am not into Sean, and I'm not going to come over and continue to play in a more intimate environment this game that John isn't like noticing the rules to, or picking up, whatever. That's a bad analogy. Anyway, I said, yeah, no, that would be awkward. And I thought that was going to be really obvious, but I thought about it later, and maybe that could have been interpreted as, yeah, no, that would be awkward because I really want to like get down with Sean, and it would be weird if you were all there. But I guess it could have been interpreted. Anyway, Sean also asked me if I wanted to come over because he didn't know that Nick and I had talked, and I was like, no, I'm gonna head home, peace out. So we parted ways, and I got back to my house, and I realized that I had 2 text messages. First of all, there was a text message at 9 p.m. when I was still with the guys from Sean, but my phone goes automatically into what's it called when your notifications are disabled? Do not disturb. It went into do not disturb, so I never got the text. But from across the table, he said, the boys seem to really like you. And boys was spelled with a Z. Okay. Maybe this is bitchy, but I'm judging. I know he was trying to be flirty, but I was like, why? This is so immature. Like, you were trying to have an under the table conversation in front of all of your friends. Like, I don't get it. I still don't get it. And then as soon as I got home at 10:30 and was looking at my phone, Sean also texted me and this is my favorite text in the entire story. He texted me and said, Nick wants you to come over and play cards. What do I need to do to make that happen? Okay, Mr. Direct, Mr. Claims to be super upfront. Nick, it's Nick that wants me to come over. Really? First of all. Second of all, Nick is the guy who I told explicitly that I'm not coming over, and explicitly why. Because, and I quote, it would be fudging awkward. Fucking awkward, whatever. And then what do I need to do to make that happen? Which I'm sure he thought was like super suave, but just came off really cringy. I was, So I didn't reply, obviously, because I hadn't received the text about the boys seemed to really like you at 9 o'clock. This 10:30 text, Nick wants you to come over and play cards. What do I need to do to make that happen? I also didn't reply to that text. And I was like, okay, by now, he's got to be figuring it out, right? Not replying to both of those texts, like, this is where we're at. The next day, I mean, A+ for tenacity, I guess. The next afternoon, he texted me and said, it was really lovely to meet you. If you're ever in the city sometime, let me know when we should get together. Smiley face. Which is a completely appropriate and genuinely text that I would have liked had it not been for the mountain of evidence and social dynamic that he should have been reading before then. I was just like, okay. So I also didn't reply to that text. So that's 3 in a row that I was just like, they didn't require responses. I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just trying to like vanish. And I thought that was done. That was a week and a half ago. That is where the story should end, theoretically, right? Oh, Rachel's funny dating story. Done. Check the box. Hit the video. No, apparently not. That was a week and a half ago. Sean texted me today, this morning. A week and a half later. We're not friends. And I assume you know, we're like, do you not know? You should know. So I called a guy coworker of mine, and I said, first of all, I might be wrong, but I have an older brother who obviously had guy friends, and I could be totally wrong, but I swear on my life, if this had happened to them when they were younger, and one of my brother's friends was after a girl who like wasn't into her, I swear on my life, I could totally see one of the other friends like elbowing him in the ribs and be like, dude, she doesn't like you. I could just see that. So like, where was Nick in all of this, or any of the other guys that were part of Sean's friend group to be like, I mean, seriously, was I that subtle? Like, subtlety is not usually my thing. So this is the one time I was overly subtle. I don't know. So Sean texts me out of the blue and he's like, hey, Rachel, how's up north? And I freaking called my guy coworker, and I was like, this is so out of the blue for me. I don't know what to do. I've already ignored his last 3 text messages. I thought he got the memo. Apparently he hasn't. I don't know what to do. How I framed it to him was, what is the kindest thing I can do here? Right? Like I filled him in on the whole backstory, and I'm like, I'm not that into him. Is it kinder for me to just not respond? Or is it kinder for me to respond, say hello, let him shoot his shot, and then gently say no? And he said, I think that you should say hi and then ultimately reject him. And I said, is that what you would want if you were Sean? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, then I'll do it. So Sean had said, hey, Rachel, how's up north? And I said, yeah, life is good, or something. And then he said, yeah, I've always wanted to like get a cabin up north. And I said, yeah, lake life is relaxing. And I made sure to not ask any questions back. I am looking for the exit as soon as possible. I want to be kind, and then I want to get off the highway. And then he said, he asked me a really specific question about work. And I was like, wow, good memory. Yep, this is how that's going. And he was like, bet you didn't think I was actually listening to you, huh? And I was like, no, I thought you were listening to me when we were having a conversation and I was saying words and then you were saying words and your words made sense to the words that I was saying. I figured you were listening to me and having a conversation. It's so weird. Like, have you gotten that feedback from other women that it doesn't sound like you're really listening to them, like deep in their soul? I just thought he had a really good memory, like a week and a half later for a really specific, like random work thing. That was impressive. Anyway, and then like an hour later, he was like, oh, do you ever have those people at work where you just think that they're just trying to make your life more miserable? Okay. Pro tip. If you're trying to impress a woman, I wouldn't lead with negativity. I don't know. Just a thought. Because up until then, I was like, hey, no big deal. This is nice to chat. And then he sent that text message and I was like, oh, like, this is not fun. I don't want this. So I just said like, yep, I definitely work with a couple of jerks, but every organization has one or two at least. And then he said, yeah, I just got off a call that was really concerning and, you know, we're in the middle of a shitstorm or a fire drill or something. I'm not sure, but something along those realms. And then I haven't responded and it's been hours. Because I don't think that text required a response. Would a response have been nice? Yes. Would the response from me have continued the conversation? Also, yes. So I'm like, again, I am escaping into the background. Because I was kind, but now I'm like, but then you didn't ask me out, so we couldn't finally put the bow on the story and connect the dots for Sean that you're a lovely human being, but I don't think that we are meant to be. So to be or not to be, the answer is not to be. And that's where we are. That's the end of the story. The Sean Saga. The Sean Saga. I'm sure it will conclude in some sort of a way after more text messages. I don't really have a very good endings to my stories, especially when I'm in the middle of like, I don't know. And that's it. Will I give you a follow-up to this story? Probably not, because I'll have forgotten about it in about 3 days. But yeah, that's my absolutely random dating story with absolutely no point, purpose, or ending other than hopefully entertainment. And I don't even guarantee that. So suck on that. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.